Hi, we read books. It's July, which means we're going to talk about what I read in June. I read 6 books in June, which was pretty good for me. The first one was The Somnambulist, which is part of the Domino Men series by Jonathan Barnes. I gave that 3 stars. It just wasn't really my thing. It was kind of like a sci-fi Victorian era novel, and it's like a detective mystery kind of thing. Just not really my book, and I didn't think it was super well written, so 2 out of 5. Sorry. The next I read was John Quincy Adams, so that's the 6th president, so I'm on 6th one of my goal to read a biography about every president. This one was by Harlow Giles Unger. I gave it 4 out of 5. I really liked this book. One of my favorite things about that I like in a biography, especially about the presidents, is going from childhood to adulthood and really getting the in-depth look at their life and why they made the choices they made. And this one just nailed that so much, like going all the way back. There was like some more history about John Adams, and then like when John Quincy went over to Europe with him, and then his time in Europe and his wife, and I don't know, I just really like that stuff. I think John Quincy was one of the better men that became president. But he wasn't a great president, which is too bad. I think it was just, he was a little pompous. Sorry, JQ. But he was cool. He died on the Senate floor defending abolitionism, so can't hate him. I finally finished it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, only because I felt like at some points, like, there was just, like, Stephen King. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't really know how to finish a book. Which is why his books are so long. It's like, I would have just cut that part. I wouldn't have gone into that much detail about that thing that does not matter. Overall though, it was scary. It was really good. I never saw the Tim Curry It, so I'm gonna watch that next, and then I'm gonna watch the new It when it comes out in September. I'm not like a big horror person at all. Like, I do not like watching scary movies, but this one seems really cool, and I did like the book, so I'm excited. 3 out of 5 just because I just felt like it dragged at some places, but when it was good, it was really good. I read Three Dark Crowns, which is the first book, and I'm guessing a trilogy, by Kendra Blake. This one was really unique. I gave it 4 out of 5. It's about 3 sisters, and they're triplets, and when they're 6 years old they get taken away, they're queens, to be raised as queens, and then when their 16th birthday comes they have to like kill each other in this weird ritual thing, and they each have talents. So there's like a naturalist queen, a poisoner queen, and a elements queen, and I don't know, it was really good. It was so like female centric, which I really liked. There didn't have to be like any big love interests. It was really about them and sisterhood and what they were gonna do when their 16th birthday hit, and it was pretty interesting, and I'm definitely gonna read the rest of them. And then I read Evicted, Poverty and Profit in the American City by Matthew Desmond. I gave this 3 out of 5. Some of the stories were really interesting, others not so much, but overall it was a really great picture of keeping the poor and the rental market, and how rents have skyrocketed, and how having a home is so important to people. It is the groundwork for stability and for success, and if you don't know where you're going to live, or you live in a bad part of town, or you're constantly getting evicted because places are unsafe and the place you live in is unsafe, that's like one of the root causes of a lot of problems. So very interesting. 3 out of 5 only because some stories I was like, okay, yeah, cool. But really opened my eyes to especially the rental market and landlords, and very interesting stuff. Highly recommend it. And the last book I finished last night on the 30th was Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. You'll know Veronica Roth from the Divergent series if you've read those. So this was her first new series after that. It was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I was super bored in the beginning, couldn't get into it. Then I got into it in the middle, and then towards the end I just didn't care at all. I will not be reading the rest of the Carve the Mark books. Sorry, Veronica Roth. It is a really interesting world though that she's painted. It's total world building. There's nothing familiar at all about what's going on, so it takes a little bit to get into as you start to like remember the world and what names mean and planets and stuff like that. I really liked Sira, which was one of the main characters. Akos was the other one. He kind of bothered me. Also, I felt like their insta-love was pretty annoying too. Like, I don't know. It's not like the worst insta-love I've ever seen. There's definitely like more stuff going on. They're not like so into each other that it like happened so immediately, but like when it did happen, I felt like it didn't fit properly. Like, like, oh, this is happening now, weird. So not my favorite. For July, I'm in the middle of 3 books, and I'll probably add to that when I finish them. I'm reading Andrew Jackson's Seventh President. He's the worst. I'm reading The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri because I hate myself. The Gathering Dark by Christine Johnson, How We Got to Now by Steven Johnson, and Queen of Shadows, which is the Throne of Glass 4th book by Sarah J Maas, which I love that series, so I'm really excited to be reading that. So you'll hear my thoughts on those next month. We're in the middle of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, so yay. Everybody in America have a safe July 4th in a few days. And if you're not in America, also have a good July 4th because it's still a day that you can have a good time on. Bye!